Hi there, and welcome to January's trending topic, our first trending topic of 2024. My name's Suzana Goncalves, and joined with me, my BFF, Brittany Reimer.
Yeah, happy to be here and excited to chat a little bit about our 2024 forecast. So last month, we did an overview of 2023, what surprised us, what played out pretty much as expected, and some of the highlights of the year. Now this month, as we ring in the new year, we'll be providing our much anticipated annual forecast.
Yeah, drum rolls, please. Predictions are always tricky business, particularly in a climate like today's, but we're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, so let's start a little bit more high level, Suze. Is there one sentence or theme of the year that you could point us to? What do you think you're feeling in 2024 for pre-sales?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say 2024 will be a bit bumpy. Presale will face multiple challenges in 2024, but the medium to long-term outlook is still optimistic, with the trend line moving upwards this year.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't leave us in suspense like that. What do you think is actually ahead here? Come on, pry it out of you.
Well, let's take a look at where everyone's mind is at. Interest rates, of course. Most analysts are pricing in around 3 to 4 cuts throughout the year, and there is a considerable amount of excitement around this. What I would caution here is twofold. One, a brief look at the history of market predictions over the past 2 years should give us lots of hesitation in taking today's forecasts too seriously. We've seen reversals from the Bank of Canada once the cycle already, including last summer, and 12 months is an eternity in the world of macroeconomics, so much can happen to change the outlook from now till December.
Yeah, and that's definitely not to say we won't see positive movement this year, Suze. I think that is much likely, but we can look to some of the geopolitical rumblings over the past few months as an example. These sorts of disruptions can and really already have dramatic impact on global inflation and therefore local interest rates.
Yeah, exactly. And secondly, if forecasts do end up being accurate, we could see approximately a 75 to 100 basis points in cuts. Beneficial for sure, but let's keep in mind we're already 500 basis points deep into hikes. So the biggest impact will be on market sentiment as some buyers gain the confidence to return to the market from the sidelines as rate cuts happen. But in terms of affordability, there will still be a significant pool of buyers that just won't be able to make the numbers work.
Yeah, we've been having these conversations over and over on our sales floor and in our boardrooms. If you talk to a buyer on the sidelines today and really ask them, how much will the interest rates need to come down before, they consider re-entering the market? That answer sounds very different from buyer to buyer. And quite frankly, affordability and mortgage qualification is their primary concern right now. My feeling is that 75 basis points won't be enough to fully bring this segment back to market, but it'll certainly help if buyers feel there's a gap in opportunity for prices where they can get a good deal.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone's on the same page that we will see some sort of cut. The question is just going to be, how many and how far do we go and when do they start? And that's what we're looking at. Now, how about in terms of overall home prices and sales volumes this year? What are you expecting?
Yeah, well, let's start with the sales volume question. On a whole, we're expecting demand for the presale market to remain consistent with what we saw in 2023. I anticipate moderate upticks driven by interest rate improvements, but to remain below historic averages still. We also anticipate that demand is going to continue to be asymmetrical, right? That is focused with 2 to 3 markets.
Yeah, I agree. Picking their moment to release inventory and how they structure their launch strategy will be key. We released just over 12,000 homes on the multifamily pre-sale side in 2023, so I do expect that number to be a bit higher in 24, perhaps getting closer to about 15,000 with the same month absorption rate to average over 30% this year, just up a little bit from last. On the resale side, I also expect transaction volumes to be up. In Greater Vancouver, we saw just over 26,000 transactions, so I expect that number to be closer to 30, while still a far cry from the 44,000 we saw in 2021. Now, in terms of benchmark prices, Britt, I don't know if you want to venture a number out there, but on the resale side, I expect we'll see some similar movement as in 2023, which will mean dips and peaks throughout the year, and depending on the neighborhood as well as how interest rate changes affect the increase in mortgage renewals that are coming up in 2024, but overall ending with moderate appreciation year over year. The reasoning, of course, is supply side focused. I think demand, as we have discussed, will depend on some larger macro questions that have yet to be answered, but we already know that the number of homes available is constrained, particularly with the levels of immigration that we're seeing. This will apply a moderate upward pressure on prices. We saw about a 4 to 5% price increase on benchmark price last year, so I think we'll be close to the same, if not a bit higher, in 2024.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks, Suze. And maybe to cap it off here, then, what do you think our viewers should be keeping an eye out for next year? Is there anything that you can really prime them up and get them excited for?
I think be ready for anything and watch the presale pulse. The market is finicky still, and although we expect the pendulum to swing the other way, the question remains which day that's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm quite excited to see, what the next few months brings. We've chatted a lot about our development partners being on the sidelines and getting ready to launch. I really do think it'll be a week by week sort of play in terms of, do you go first? Are you the first out of the gate, or do you allow another program or two to go before you go? And it's just really quite a game of chess. So I'm really excited for that for our programs. I'm excited to see what 2024 has in store for the market, because I do think it's going to be a good one. Yeah,
I think obviously we talked about cautious optimism, so that definitely feels in play.
I'm not feeling very cautious right now. I'm going
You're all
straight
the way in?
optimism.
Well, I love that. I think we know that we're closer to that trend upwards. It's not a matter of if, it's really just a matter of exactly when.
Yeah, definitely agree. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Trending Topics. We look forward to welcoming some new guests over the next few months here, and we look forward to seeing you next month.